447,000 kilometers, cracked piston. Why? Well, this is telling a bit of a story as well, but what I said was the first set of injectors at 377,000 Ks. And if my memory serves me correct, this is a 2010, which means the injectors that were in there then were made before that. So they are not full DLC injectors. And I've always said, ideally, those original non-DLC ones should have been out under 200,000 Ks, probably closer to 150. The vehicles with the full DLC injectors, the brand new fresh stuff we supply, not the old rubbish you might end up with, remanufactured, counterfeit copies and all that. The stuff we supply, far superior, it lasts better for longer, and then you could probably get 200,000 or more. A lot of variables, depends how soon you do the Ks, if you leave it sitting around, number of things. But so the old injectors, non-DLC coded, 377,000 Ks in this engine, I believe would have done damage to the pistons, pretty obviously. I think most people are on channel with that, except those that, of course, know better than everybody else. Now, I'm looking at this radiator. This wouldn't be a contributor, would it? I mean, we've got a 4-cylinder diesel engine that's highly strung, the sort of vehicle that you're driving along at 100, 110 Ks an hour on the highway, and you're touring Australia. I don't know if people do this like I do. This is what I find. I'm sure there's a lot of people who are going to notice what I do. And you catch up to vehicles that are quite noisy, and it always ends up being a Patrol or an 80 series or 100 series. That's a 4-cylinder engine, whether it's petrol or diesel, quite often petrols as well, but a lot of noise. What you hear as you approach from 200 or 300 meters behind, a long way back, probably half a K even, is I haven't got any more breath. I'll do it again. And they're like this the whole time, right? Excuse me. Whether they're towing or not, the engine is working and it's chewing through the fuel. Meanwhile, we're in our little 4-cylinder diesel engines and we're just seemingly doing it easy, cruising past. And that's because the way it's tuned standard, it's highly strung already. It needs to be running in peak condition, and it needs a cooling system in peak condition as well. If you have missed my video so far, now's the time to subscribe and turn the bell on. It's important information to keep your vehicle reliable and on the road, whether it's one of these or something else. We choose what we like. That's what we choose, what we use. There's other options out there. They may be better. They may be not as good. They may be terrible. Watch the channel and you might learn something about what the choices are. But I'm just looking at this radiator going, how much, we do the BFE job. We haven't done a BFE job on this ever, as far as I know. Injectors, the first time we saw it, first and last, 377K, so that was done, a few years ago. Damage probably would have been already done. The new injectors and it running in peak condition would have prolonged the life of the engine. The idea is change them sooner, because then it'll prolong the life of the engine so this doesn't happen. But if you've purchased a vehicle with higher Ks, you don't know the history. You don't know if they've towed in top gear. You don't know if the radiator's blocked inside or out, if the coolant's been low, if it's had a leak, who's worked on it, what they've done. You don't know the history. So there's always a risk there. And that's the thing, you don't know the history. If you've had one of these since new, then you're lucky, especially if you've followed my info for 10 years plus, like a lot of people have. Last are the best, hold on to it. Other than that, get yourself educated by watching the video. So BFE job, while all this stuff's out, and this one's held in by a rubber band, right? So it's not what we do. The whole fan shroud, I think, is missing a bolt there. Out goes the battery. We can get a bit more access now. Thank you. Down here, it's just broken off, right? So the bolt and the bracket, see that? Someone's broken the fan shroud off. So, not good. We'll try and glue that one because the fan shroud's going to be expensive, but no guarantees. We'll see what we can do. The biggest concern, what I'm looking at, so besides the injector thing, this hasn't had a remap or a tune. Remaps, tunes, chips have a long time been the #1 cause of cracked pistons in these engines. I don't know about other engines. I know other diesel engines pistons look the same when they crack pistons, so it happens there as well. But I don't think there's nearly as many engines as there is these that have been around in Australia for about 20 years to compare to. There's so many of these, so you're going to hear about more of these. It's just the odds. And people love their Toyotas and they're keeping them for longer, hundreds of thousands of Ks. So you know what, it's going to happen. It's absolutely going to happen. Stay tuned. There's going to be a lot of crack piston info over the next period of time. But with the BFE job, all this comes out and we reverse flush this every 150,000 Ks. It's another reason why I invented the BFE job, because this is another thing that needs to be taken care of. You've got the radiator, you've got the intercooler, and you've got the condenser, right? So it's got to get through other components. It's got to get through a set of fog lights, a bull bar, modified cooling system channels at the front, and then it's got the other usual 3 components before it gets to the radiator, which is the most important part. The cooling system is part of that engine longevity triangle, or whatever you want to call it. We did a video on that. I don't know if it came out yet or not, but this is what I'm talking about. Just have a close look at that for a minute. How much airflow was going through that radiator? How efficient would that have been? Another reason why it's important to have a scan gauge or some other device similar to that in your vehicle to monitor your coolant temperatures, so you know how well it's working or it's not, right? And this not working very well at all. So if this job, as far as I know, isn't going to get a radiator, but the radiator will get a good external clean while it's out of the vehicle, because this is just absolutely unacceptable, to the point that I'm thinking, you know what, it probably should even get a new radiator. We'll see what it cleans up like, and that could be a bit of a double waste of time cleaning and then to decide that it needs a new radiator. If you're spending the sort of money putting a new engine in, I would highly recommend, if your radiator looks anything like this, and it's of age like this one, 15 years old, just get the new radiator in there as part of the job. That's the wise thing to do. It's a bada bing, bada boom, right? I know people that are still watching this video are thinking, yep, I'll just put a new one in there. Now this one, I'll tell you a story about this one before we finish off quickly. That is, we're going to put the good second-hand motor in this one. He's grabbed that one because he's going to sell it. So this is fix it to sell it. So it's going to get a good second-hand engine. Keep the cost to a minimum, but keeping the reliability and trying to, you know, tick the boxes on most things around the engine while we go. Bada bing, bada boom. Just look at that radiator. That's all I've really got for you. Look at that radiator. The rest will be in the next video. You'll see that if you subscribe and turn the bell on. We'll give you some more info. But if you're unsure, radiator, that's the intercooler there. Not so important, but it's important. And probably second most important is the condenser at the front, because that's what's going to cool things for your air conditioning system to keep that working properly for you as well. So if it's all blocked up, it's all not going to work that well. Thanks for watching. Catch you in the next one.